You did not defeat Bola Tinubu in Lagos. It was the Muslim ticket that caused whatever happened. Do you think that was a fluke? Can you do it again? Can you beat Bola Tinubu in Lagos? Can you beat Atiku in Adamawa? Can you really have a dramatic turnaround in your outing this time around?
So, the 36 governors will support the president. So it won't be only 31, 36. I want to give all the governors to. But 36 people in the state are not with them. Because they're hungry. It's a different thing than saying the governor is supporting him and the people with the governor in supporting him. The answer is no. What I'm only asking for is free, fair, and credible election, which will go down as part of his legacy. It will go down as part of his legacy.
You believe you won 2023 election?
Sure, I did. I did.
You think you were rigged out?
Yes.
You think the numbers were cooked?
Yes.
Do you think that this 2027 election will be free and fair?
That's what I'm pleading with them. That's what I want them to do. And that's what I'm begging the youth whose life at stake, whose future at stake, to come out and join me in demanding. We are now demanding free, fair, and credible election. And it will go down as part of his legacy. He has campaigned that he's a Democrat. He has fought for democracy. This is time to prove it. When Yar'Adua became president, he said, the process to which I came into office is faulty, and I'm going to ensure that it does not happen again, even if I have to lose. And he did it, demonstrated it by all his actions, all the subsequent election after him. We are free, fair, and credible. I contested second term of them, and nothing happened. And when he left, Jonathan continued in that direction. That was why people like me, Ushomole, and others were able to win election as for second tenor, because they were, and eventually, when APC won, as president, he accepted it. He can do the same thing. He is not president. This is time to prove his democratic credential, which he preaches, claims, and everything.
To talk about the manifesto, how you are prepared for this. It is important for Nigeria to know what people really stands for, what you do different. Opposition is looking at you. I mean, so you have contacts under different political parties. You've gone from ABGA to PDP, Labour Party. Your critics argue that your political journey, your loyalty is proper. Any party.
Sure. Major political heavyweights have done the same movement, including the president. From AC
from AD to AC, AC to ACN, ACN to APC.
You are the one now.
But that was not a movement, it was a morph.
Whatever you call it, it is your own choice. So everybody has been moving, so it's not peculiar to me.
No, I'm saying that was actually not a movement. That was a party that was transforming from one thing to the other.
Thank you. That was the party that was transforming. This is the person that is also transforming. So it was all transformation that we are moving. So for me, there's no party that have today in ideology in Nigeria.
So you don't believe in ideology?
No, I said there's none. Otherwise, the ideology of APC will be, if you're corrupt and you move to APC, you're no longer corrupt.
So most of the political parties are the same?
Basically.
So it doesn't matter where you are?
Basically. What we are looking for with importance, sharing, and with Nigerians you look at, is the competence of the person, the capacity, the compassion, the character and commitment. Sharing, whoever I find myself, I've continued to preach that I'm going to change here. And those things you're saying will come if you have a good person in office. For example, part of my movement, because the people in government have refused to have stability within the polity. So I will support opposition. I will encourage opposition. I will ensure that opposition parties function as good as party in government.
Is the government of the day doing that?
No, they're doing the opposite.
Are they killing opposition?
The president said it, that he's happy when opposition are having problem. That is his word. And all these people are doing it, and because of it, they are destroying the legislature, they are destroying the judiciary. If I'm president today, most of the things you're seeing in our polity will not exist. I will encourage strong opposition parties to emerge. I will remove some of the restrictions that are happening today, where even the regulator INEC is interfering in party activities. Their job will be strictly to ensure that they conduct free, fair, and credible election. The parties are free to choose who is their candidate, who they want to present, and I will ensure that once after election, I will take the law to the National Assembly. After election, you cannot change your party. You can only change your party during the election. After election, if you change your party, the party that won that election will replace you immediately, within 48 hours. That's what you have all over the world. So you bring sanity in all this rascality that is happening.
One criticism is repeatedly leveled against you is that instead of helping to build enduring political institutions, you move to whichever platform best advances your presidential ambition. How do you respond
how many
to
parties have I moved?
PDP.
They go and put fire in this one.
You've been on the ballot at the presidential level 3 times now on 3 different
I went
VP.
I went from PDP when it is no longer, it has nothing to do with presidential. When the things were no longer being done according to the rules, I left PDP. One day you see my write-up why I left PDP, and I went to Labour. And they came there, same group of people, instituted fire on it, and want me to stay there and get burned, and I moved to ADC. And I moved to ADC. Since I went into ADC, and they've carried the same fire all over the place. You know.
Why don't you stay to help build?
What are you going to do?
You always like to go to where things are safe and easy.
No, so if they put this building on fire now, I and you will leave to where it is safe. Simple. That's what is happening.
Why should party members in the NDC think that you will be committed to the party? That in any little crisis
If everything is conducive, if there's no problem, why would they believe? That's why I said, I, as president, will encourage the opposition parties. Let me tell you, Shehu, what is happening in ADC now, happening in NDC, happening in Labour, will never happen if I'm president of Nigeria. Anybody that tries to do it, even the judiciary, giving us of ruling, you will see what will happen. We must build institutions, and those institutions must allow for fairness. Because I want a strong opposition. I want to have ideas of the opposition. I want to invite them to a meeting when we discuss Nigeria. Sure, if I'm in office and face the crisis we're facing in the north today, I'm going to invite all opposition leaders to the north. We'll go there, sit down with the stakeholders, and find solution to this.
That's what you do.
Precisely. We cannot be doing things where we think that somebody is the opposition. We are only competing during elections. After elections, I am in charge. I will invite everybody.
But give me an idea what keeps you awake at night about NDC and its legal problem. This logo and identity problem. There are those who think that might be a problem of you being able to run this.
It's not a problem. It's something that has been dealt with. It's the same thing I'm telling you.
The matter is still in court.
No. Even that have been dealt with in the previous judgment before their registration. But unfortunately, because people are thriving in this confused system, they want to bring it back. You cannot bring it back to back door and everything.
Let's do it.
Even at that, what is it pretending? It's a very straightforward thing.
So you have hopes that things will go well.
This is even being challenged by a non-political party, an organization, association, and everything. Why do we like confusion? Shehu, I will not encourage confusion. As governor of Anambra State, Shehu, it was the most peaceful 8 years of Anambra State. You know Anambra before I became governor was very troublesome, was very distant. In 8 years, I was able to work there. Shehu, my 30 members of my House of Assembly were PDP. 3 senators from Anambra were PDP. 11 House of Rep member under me was PDP. I work with them. Go and ask all of them. When we do this second tenure election, you can go and ask anybody.
But you were not able to conduct local government elections?
No, because there were a lot of litigations. This is what I'm telling you. There were a lot of court litigations from different groups, from different things, which are things I couldn't control. But I can tell you, during my second tenure election, Shehu, go and ask anybody. Or even before that. Right? Obasanjo came to campaign for Andy Uba. I accompanied him to the campaign. Everybody was there. My own house of assembly passed vote of no confidence on me. I was inside that house. I didn't quarrel with them. And I followed them to places. ACN, my second tenure, ACN people came to campaign for Dr. Chris Ngige. Fashola is still there. Fashola called me, was the governor. I gave them my vehicle. He came, Mushomole, everybody came and campaigned for Dr. Chris Ngige. There was no issue. Dr. Ojikaru came to campaign for Chekunife. In fact, when he finished the Greek campaign, I gave them lunch. They ate in my house. Go ask former speaker, let me remember his name, from Southwest. No. Former defense.
That Dimeji Bankole.
Go ask Bankole. He came to do primary for PDP in Anambra State. Ask him where he ate lunch. I was the governor. He was from my house. He went to do. So I brought harmony. It was peaceful. Nobody was quarreling with you. That you can do. That's the type of.
At the national level, you will replicate that.
Straight away.
You don't mind if there is a majority in the National Assembly that are not of your political party.
They will see it. And those people, one of the governors came there and asked my speaker, why people said, when you work with this man, we're talking about the future of our society. The future will benefit everybody.
Let's talk about what you will do differently in your manifesto, but I'd like you to clarify this and probably lay it to rest. The narrative about you never building a school during your time as governor in Anambra State, can you clarify it once and for all? Mr. Peter, did you build any school? If not, why so?
So I built modern schools.
Which are the schools that you built?
Okay, let me even start from tertiary institution. I built, if you go to today, Odumegwu Ojukwu University, which is our state university. There's a place called Ibrahim Campus. So I cut the grass. What I mean, it was a bush. I leveled the bush. If you go there from Faculty of Law, Faculty of Agriculture, I built all of them from scratch. From scratch. So I built the fastest teaching hospital in this country. In Oka, the fastest. The Medical and Dental Council closed down our faculty as I was assuming office and said, we cannot continue College of Medicine because they have no teaching hospital. And I said, no, we have people who are already in their third year. I'm going to build it for them. Give me 2 years. So I built it from the scratch. I can go on and on. When I became governor, there was no single school of nursing, midwifery, laboratory scientists, lab tech that was accredited by the council that is supposed to accredit them. So by the time I left, they were over 10. Go there and see the buildings. So when I came in, look at the lab where we were in school, where we were in education. I brought it to number 1. I did not just build schools. So I equipped them till date. I don't know, maybe it changed yesterday. I bought the highest number of desktop computer ever bought by a government in Sub-Saharan Africa, in Sub-Saharan Africa.
In Anambra.
In Anambra State. Go and check. Go and call HP. I'm calling international call. Go and look at I put internet in all our secondary school. I can go on and on. You buy vehicles. No other state have been able to buy vehicles for all their secondary school. 500. What generators for them? I'm talking about over 500 schools. Visit them as governor. I can go on and on.
You always talk about the performance of Anambra State in education.
In health.
Yeah.
In every other.
And your critics have said that they say you champion miracle centers during your time. Hence, the results showed high pass rate. When your predecessor sanitized the place, the poor results showed.
When I talk about things, I talk about verification. Can they show you the miracle centers? Check the schools that drove our results are schools like Dennis Memorial Grammar School in Onitsha, Christ the King College Onitsha, KRC Onitsha. I can call the schools. These are first-class institutions that are doing well. I just gave you an example of 3. I'm inviting you. I'm in Onitsha tomorrow. Come and show you all these schools. When people, I don't want to compare. I don't call names, and I don't compare one government to another. What I did is what I'm telling you. What I did, I just showed you now. Every school had a lab. For me, I visited the schools. I did everything. Every senior prefect had my phone number. It was working. I was going there. I was encouraging.
Do you still know them by name? Do they still call you up to now?
Of course, most of them still send me texts. Yes.
Up to now?
Yes.
Do you know them by name?
No, not all by name, but I know them. Senior prefect of this school, senior prefect of that school. That's what I knew. And we were working together. I was visiting their schools. Go and ask anybody who was in secondary school when I was there. Did I visit their school? To encourage them.
Let me ask you, do you have a manifesto yet for the 2027 election?
Of course, I had the one I used last time, which is now being looked into and updated in line with the realities of today.
What would be your 3 most significant priorities that you would like to accomplish? What would that be?
1 is to unite the country. The country is not united today. It's divided among ethnic and religious lines. You must remove that and show people that we are one. 2 is to secure the country. The country must be secured. 3, you must return the country where there's rule of law and order. People must be sure, know that they are citizens of this country. If there's anything, they go to our court and they will obtain justice. And then you now commence the development part. Invest massively in education. Of course, there are people like us also who believe in it, and we will throw everything to it. And education, in health, and then put people out of poverty. And that education must not be education for the sake of it. It must be education that we have now to train people in skill, so basic education, and then skill acquisition, which we will support to be entrepreneurial, because we want small businesses to support. Nobody today say we can start a small business. You can't start at 25%. The government doesn't care about the poor people. We will care about them.
All right, give me another moment, sir. We'll go on break, but when we come back, Mr. Peter Obi always talks about from consumption to production. What exactly does that mean? In a country where a lot of Nigerians are unemployed, but the Bola Tinubu government will say they have dealt with the macroeconomic side of the economy of this country. What would Peter Obi do differently? That will be our focus when we return from this break.
Improve infrastructure connectivity and innovative ideas that move our people from poverty to prosperity.
From the north to the south, across valleys, rivers, and rising skylines, one name powers it all. Secure, intelligent, and built to last. Nigeria's digital transformation is unfolding before our eyes. We connect governments, empower agencies, and enable service delivery in the private sector, all driven by brilliant minds and bold ideas. Across public and private sectors, governance to learning, e-health to emergency response, we are integrating the systems that drive our progress as a nation. We keep evolving every day, every night, because Nigeria's digital future begins today. Galaxy Backbone, enabling digital services.
Coleman wires and cables. World-class quality built to last.
In Swiss Re, we offer economy doors, project doors, pivot doors, internal wooden doors, steel security entrance doors, customized, exclusive, and historical doors that is only found in Swiss Re, all with weatherproof elements. Purchase from Swiss Re Doors today and enjoy 50% discount offered by for limited time only.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation. This time around, let's kick off with your popular slogan, from consumption to production. That is what you have said. And I'd like to find out from you. That phrase is associated with you, from moving from consumption to production. But there are those who have argued that it has become more or less like a slogan rather than a detailed economic program. What exactly does that transition look like in practical terms?
So let me start with food security. This country can produce enough of what we can eat. And we can actually make more money from agriculture than we make from oil. Because as it is today, we have vast uncultivated land. So we're talking about this. The most consumed food in Nigeria, I believe, is rice. From my own studies, is rice. And this country produces annually about, call it less than 10 million tons of a milled rice, which will even be worse now that we have used cheap importation to kill our farmers. So we can do more. And I just give you a comparable country with large population, but far more dense, with less land space, than doing more. Bangladesh. Bangladesh today, Shehu, produces about 50 to 60 million tons of a milled rice. In fact, now they are now about number 3 or 4 globally. The size of Bangladesh, Shehu, is about 148,000 square kilometers of land. And they have about 170 million people. So you could see the density. The size of Bangladesh, Shehu, is size of our 2 biggest states. Niger State at 76.3 and Borno at 70.8 is actually 147. So these two is almost the size of Bangladesh. In terms of population, they are about 10% of the population of Bangladesh. You could see the size and see what I mean by production. You can't get that working. I don't want to compare us with first world because people don't want us to be compared with first world. Otherwise, a tiny place like Netherlands gets from export every year of agricultural produce of over 120 million euros, about 120 billion euros, which is about $130 billion. That is 3 times what we earn from oil. And they are just 33,000 square kilometers. When you minus, they are 41 with water, you minus water, they are 33. That is Niger State is 2.5 the size of Netherlands at 76.3.
So you literally turn Nigeria into a production ground.
Niger State today is virtually occupied by terrorists. When they have vast uncultivated land that is fertile, you can put resources behind it and turn it around and be able. And this is not just these 2 states. If you go, Sambisa Forest is giving us problem. Everybody is talking about Sambisa Forest and everything. The Sambisa area is 60,000 square kilometers. That's 2 times, twice the size of Belgium. Belgium is just 30,000 square kilometers, and they feed themselves and they export good. To tell you, Morocco today is exporting food, agricultural products. So, Europe, if you go to Casablanca, to Port of Tangier, on both sides, it's farmland. We can turn this. I can go on and on. Look at Taraba, 54 point something thousand. With Mambila, where you can do tea, coffee. Look at Ethiopia now. It's making over $1 billion from export of coffee. Kenya is making almost $500 million from export of flour. If you go and see during Valentine's, planes going to, and this is what we can cultivate. By doing this, you get youth employed. I've been to flower fields in Kenya. You see young people being paid equivalent of $100 a month. They're happy, they're employed. You go to coffee fields, Ethiopia, everywhere, you see young people, they are being employed, they're being paid basic money. I've been to prisons here and seen young people, and I asked them, why did you do what? They said they have no job. How much were you paid in the last operation? They were just paid 50,000, 100,000, which has now been justified by so many comments you've heard, even from Hakim Baba Ahmed, who said that when their relation was kidnapped, that the money they always give to the small boys are taken away by one big man. So they pay those small boys. So if you replace that by giving them job, you will see it. So if you go to Kano today, you will find out there's a problem in Kano because all the factories that used to be in Bompai, Shadan 1, Shadan 2 have all collapsed. These are things you need
What would you do specifically? You sound like you want to turn Nigeria into a food processing and production.
I'm just studying from agriculture.
Yes.
From there you enter into manufacturing. The only way you can pull Nigeria out of poverty or even increase the so-called GDP you want to pursue to trillion is through production, not through consumption. And that production is agriculture, which will give you the food you need, give you some basic raw material for your factories, give you exports. And that you need is a win-win.
Would you be shutting down importation of food?
Without you employ labor. Yeah. If you can produce it, I can just show you a country. Bangladesh used to import rice. They've not done it. Even Vietnam, they used to be importers of rice. They've not done it around.
How long will it take you? And give us an idea. How many food produce would you focus on? And how long do you think it can take you to revolutionize food production?
Let me tell you one thing. That's why people always say, you can't do it before. Let's start. Let people see it. No, they don't, like they said, nobody achieves it overnight. That's they say Rome was not built overnight, but they saw Rome do foundation. They saw it going up. So people can have hope. What drives the process is hope. It is hope that gives people faith.
Like renewed hope agenda?
No. Hopelessness. You could see.
That's not the kind of hope you're talking about.
No, that one is renewed hopelessness. It's not working.
So the kind of hope you will bring is a real hope.
People will see it. They will feel it. And I will be speaking about
not audio hope.
No.
Real hope.
It's not even audio now because the man we voted is not talking. That is why I keep saying we didn't vote all these characters that are talking. This first thing is that a leader must be speaking to the people. The person we voted in this country is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's no longer talking. He's not going into Asorok and turn the place into the bunker. We want him to come out of that bunker and speak to the people. Because with all these characters talking to us, we didn't vote them in. I will be speaking to the people. I'll be telling them, I said I will do this. This is what it is. That's why I said it will be commitment. Today, if you say that things are going wrong, or they have fake agents, they have this, people are talking. Where is the man who gave our mandate? He should be the one talking to you, talking to everybody. That's the person we want to hear.
That the people talking are standing on the mandate.
No, they cannot. Now, because we didn't give them the mandate. We didn't. He should come out of the bunker he's put himself to talk to us.
Mr. Obi, give us an idea, because I imagine that federal government or government are not the best producer of.
I didn't say federal government will produce. We will encourage.
Private sector.
We will encourage entrepreneurship. We will encourage small businesses. So the first thing you do in a country is encourage small businesses. Every developing, even developed world, the biggest employer of labor is small businesses. Then you go to developing world, is this thing, go and compare us with Indonesia, where I spend weeks learning what they are doing. Today, 90% of the job in Indonesia is from small businesses. Those small businesses are supported by government. The Ministry of Small Businesses, they are supported by government, and they ensure that they get loan at less than 10%. They're actually about 5%. How can you do small business? No government support, no training, nothing at 35%. It's impossible. We need to train our young ones in scale, support them financially to start a business and everything. Even in China, that we look at every day, 60% of the job overall in China is for small businesses. In fact, in urban area, so if you look at it, China have about 800 million people employed. So 480 million is small businesses. In urban area, it's actually up to 80%. And that's what we are talking about.
Yeah.
So when we talk about production, you support small businesses, support big manufacturing firms and everything, create environment, find out, even visit the factories, see what is happening, and then listen to them. That's what it is.
Look, you talk about Ivory Coast, and one thing that comes to mind.
Ivory Coast?
I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
If you talk about Ivory Coast, one thing that one thing that comes to mind is cocoa. You think about Ethiopia, you talk about sesame, you talk about coffee. And you mentioned several other countries, and you will be able to identify them with a produce, with a product that country is producing. In your own dream of Nigeria, what would you want Nigeria to be identified as an exportable product to the rest of the world?
Start with what you're eating first, so that you can reduce the import.
Can you give us 5 things or even 3 things that you think that Nigeria, under Peter Obi, if you become president, what are these 3 things?
I'll give you one example. Not even need 3. Rice.
You think we can produce rice, consume rice, and export the rest to the rest of the world?
Why not? Why not?
How would you achieve it? How many tons how many farmlands, how many companies do you think you can get to work?
It's not how many.
What is the measurable indices for you to be able to make this happen?
If a tiny country like Bangladesh can do 50 to 60 million tons, almost 10 times what we can do, that means we can produce more by supporting our farmers. There's so many other products we have the advantage of dealing with. What you need to show is to secure the country, ensure that our farmers go back, use it, because one, the agriculture is huge employment area. Then you go to manufacturing. To build the economy, you must have a strong manufacturing base, and you must export your way. That's what other nations have done.
As a businessman, if you want to start a business right now, I imagine that you do your analysis, you do your survey, you do your business plan, you will prospect that business. Do you have a measurable plan of how you want to change things around in terms of
you've said it. Of all those who wants to serve and those who are serving, nobody has my background. I've built a business from scratch to where it is.
So do you have a plan for Nigeria?
I built a business from scratch. So I know what to do to support small businesses.
What would you do?
I know what to do to support small businesses. I know what they need. So I've operated in the corporate world. So I know what is happening within the corporate world, including the banking and manufacturing, because I've been involved in manufacturing companies. I know what they're going through. I've been involved in governance. So nobody has had my vast experience. So I know, for example, that the biggest cost of manufacturing today is interest rate, power. These are things I'm going to work on. So I know the things that is keeping.
Would you drive interest rate down?
Of course, yes.
But these are determined by a set standard within the
I said I've operated there.
So you know how to go about it.
I know what to do.
It then brings me to this question. You have criticized aspects of the current economic reforms, but many economists have argued that subsidy removal and exchange rate reforms were unavoidable. Mr. Obi, how differently would you have implemented it?
And I campaigned that I will remove it. And I've said it every day, that within the subsidy, there was a criminal or corruption side of it, which you needed to eliminate in order to know the actual subsidy and go about in a gradual, organized removal and replacement with investment in other areas. By the way, we're separating that subsidy from what is happening now. They just called it different name, because they're now talking about 7 trillion on the recovery or from recovery or whatever name they call it. So the action is still even when I will be able to be honest to the people. If our fuel is going to increase from, say, 200 or 300 to 1,000, I, who is elected, not via spokesperson, not via any other channel, will come out and say, this is why it will happen. And even when that is happening, that we are still going to pay this amount to make it 1,000. And whatever we are saving, we are going to put it in this place. People will hear it from me. I didn't say I'm going to engage anybody. No engagement of spokesperson, no minister, nobody. It's me that they gave their vote. It's me that will speak about it. No, not via anybody. And it will be seen. Everybody will know that this, we are told, we will stop borrowing. That we cannot be borrowing for this. We will use the savings in critical area of development.
Can you borrowing as a financial person? Is it a bad thing?
Wait, today we are not paying subsidy. We've borrowed more, far more than when we are paying subsidy. We have generated more revenue from everywhere. Yet, nobody is seeing any improvement. What we've done is that when this government started, number of people that are poor were 87 million. Now we are being told that we are being threatened by 7 to 9%, which is 181 million, which they have doubled the poverty rate. So where is the savings? Where is all this? We were brutal in imposing hardship on people, yet they have no gain for their suffering. We need explanation. Our contractors, today we have operating 3-year budgets, 2024, 2025, 2026. The past 2-year budget, the capital releases are not up to 10%. And 2026, nobody knows what happened. The only thing here every day is one fake ministry, one fake agency, one fake this. What is happening here?
Give me an idea, Mr. Pidobi. This government seems to have done a few things right on the macroeconomic side. But the microeconomic, a few of the indicators are not in the positive. Do you acknowledge that they've done foreign exchange? There's an improvement in those areas. And you look
what is the impact on the average Nigerian?
Do you think they have done well?
Sure, this thing can benefit portfolio investors. It can benefit those who are portfolio investors.
Does it have FDI?
That's what I'm saying. It can benefit them because you have high interest rates, you have a reserve that they can take back their money so they can come and invest in it. But what we are looking for, Shehu, we want long-term investment that will be a win-win for the poor people, for the foreigners. And that can only happen when you do the right things, starting from the fundamentals. So you don't do things that are benefiting the 1%, even less than 1% Nigerians who already had enough. So what you're doing is that you're creating mass poverty while they're reaching the tiny things and outsiders, which I'm not against.
If you win election today in the 2027, Mr. Obi, you will be inheriting this economy.
Yes.
Have you given a deeper thought on what you will do, because Nigerians will not want to listen to any excuse. You know the state of things. What would you do on your very first day in office that will dramatically change things?
So we have said it before. You are not hired to give people excuse, because I have an idea what it is. I'm not going to give them excuse. They will just see things start changing. When they were removing fuel subsidy, when they were stabilizing floating the naira, which will bring in a lot of money and everything, when they were increasing taxes, when they were increasing, one thing they did not do, which is what you need to do immediately and drastically, is to do the same brutality in which you are dealing with this, to deal with corruption.
You think this government is corrupt?
Oh no, look at it now. Fake ministry, fake agency, fake this, every day.
Is the government corrupt or the leadership of this country?
No. I don't know what is happening. We have a mess. Nobody is explaining it to us. Let me give you an example. They said that in 2025, that we granted 34 trillion custom waivers. You saw it. How can you budget 54.9 trillion, call it 55 trillion, and then there's 54 trillion waivers? Even the revenue custom made was just 7.something trillion. So we granted almost over 4 times their revenue as waiver. And we granted over 70% of our budget as waiver. The money we borrowed. So these are things that I'm explaining. What is the impact of this waiver on the life of average Nigerian?
Will Peter be the man who will tax the poor to help tax the rich to help the poor?
Basically,
that's what you will do.
I will do that. And I will explain it to them.
You will tax the rich for the poor to be comfortable.
It's not for the poor to be comfortable, to make society work for everybody. What you do, if I'm going to grant waiver when custom is making say 8 trillion, and I'm going to grant waiver of 10 trillion, which is almost 100%, more than 100% what they're doing, I will explain it to the public. Not talk of 100% without the explanation, which included importation of food and kill my farmers. I will not use that resources to support my farmers and make them more productive. That's the way to go. So you go on. IMF came and said, we have 8. Remember, that money we're talking is almost over 70, almost 8% of our GDP. Which country can give 8% of its GDP as waiver without explanation? So IMF came and said, we have unexplained 8.8 trillion that it was out of budget. Again, nobody's explaining it. You have somebody coming to speak and saying, when will Nigerians start hearing the voice of the man they voted for? That's why I said, it is time for him to say, I have tried my best. Let me go home and rest. Have peace.
Let me ask you quickly before we go on another break. The electricity challenge is a big deal. And without it, the manufacturing sector, even our society will not run well. Every presidential candidate over the last years have promised stable electricity. Yet, decades later, Nigeria still struggles. I'd like you to give Nigerians tonight a realistic timeline, not a political promise. How would you ensure that Nigeria will experience reliable, stable 24-hour electricity under a Peter Obi presidency? And how long will it take you to achieve this?
We will not give them, I will not tell them, I'm going to give them reliable,
stable 24-hour.
24-hour within 4 years. It's impossible. Because, Shegun, if you want to build a power plant, it will take you about 4 years to build a power plant. If you want to improve our transmission line and improve it, it will take you a number of years. Same thing goes with all your distribution. But remember, I said within 4 years, we'll be able to generate not less than 10,000, which we are doing today. We're generating more than 10,000, but we are not able to transmit that. I said we'll be able to generate not less than 10,000, transmit and distribute that. And we're going to do it by a variety of means. We're going to do it through a variety of means. They're doing it everywhere, all over the world. Embedded power.
You went to Egypt.
Yes.
The lessons that you taught. What specific thing would you do? Let's assume in the first
let me give you an example of what Geometric is doing in Aba. You need to replicate that in different areas. In Kano, for example, where you have a problem with power generation to drive the industries in Bombay, Shadan 1, Shadan 2. You do that. Imagine doing that in about 4 or 5 locations. Little things we need to do. And today, we are owning power generating companies, trillions of naira. Every day you read, government have approved to pay them. Government is very important to pay them. We haven't even paid them. When You promised and said, in 4 years, if I don't give you reliable 24-hour power, don't vote for me. Shehu, the man who promised is not even telling us why. He's not bringing people to say they are sorry. To explain to us. That's what I'm saying. Our politics must change. If we vote Peter Obi, let Peter Obi come and tell us why he's not delivering what he promised. What I'm promising, Shehu will deliver. Where is going wrong, even before he gets to that stage, I'll come and explain it and tell people what is going wrong.
Well, give me a moment. We'll go on another break. But when we come back, you know Mr. Peter Obi is a man who says that he wants to cut cost of governance. For example, will he be flying those planes in presidential fleet? If not, what will he be doing? How else will he cut cost of governance? That's going to be our focus after that.
Know what's happening across Nigeria's various regions on Channels Television's Newsroom series. Every Monday, we bring you stories from the Southwest. And on Tuesday, the Northwest is our focus, where the South for midweek reports on Wednesday. And later in the week, the North Central takes center stage. The Southeast gets the spotlight on Fridays. And we close out the week with the Northeast on Saturday. Watch Newsroom series, 3 p.m., Monday to Saturday, only on Channels Television.
Africa is rising, and we are rising with her. Every day there's a new story, a new challenge, a new discovery, and a new victory. For 30 minutes, Monday through Friday, we bring these to you from Abuja to Accra and from Nairobi to Addis. Network Africa connects the dots, giving you a full picture and bringing the continent closer to you. Network Africa, weekdays at 4:30 p.m., only on Channels Television.
Moment now we speak too much in speaking. People said that in our country do anything. That usually saying what you meant is that there will be negotiation with terrorists, there will be negotiation with aggrieved persons. What exactly did you mean? And when you said in our country do not do anything, was that a right statement to make?
What I any group you call terrorists. There's so many parties, there's so many sections of Nigeria that I sit down, discuss and talk with them, and when I exhaust